Hare Krishna. So today we'll cover the topic of karma. We all have understanding of karma. So this will clarify some of the doubts and we can make it interactive if required because a lot of content may be already familiar, which we already discussed in the past sessions. Share my screen. So we are in the session 9, role of good and bad karma in deciding my destiny. So what is karma as per your understanding? Maybe let's start with that. Our actions in the present or past or future? In the past, mainly past. Karma is your account balance. Account, just like bank account. If you add, every month some $100, you have accumulation of it. So karma is like that. Karma is your past result which is due for you in that was done in the past, which you can enjoy the fruits of. Right? So that is karma. So in our life, every day we see, people, some, in suffering, some in enjoyment, right? There is always the duality. Some are rich, some are poor, some are well dressed, some are not dressed, well dressed. So in this way, like disparities we see, dualities always. We wonder why is life very unfair to the people who are poor. Somebody is going to college, he has, everything, you know, like on red carpet, right? His father takes care of fee and um, has, good support in terms of teachers. He has a good room, good facilities. Some student is like that. Some other student hardly struggling, doesn't even have the money to pay the fee. So we feel sometimes, why is life unfair to some people, you know, and we see a lot of suffering in this world, incurable diseases sometimes, suffering with very um, unfortunate situations, right? People go through all of that. So we feel, what we can do about it. Like, why is it like that? First thing is we want to understand why such a thing happens. Some are situated better and some are not. And is life unfair truly? Is life unfair? What do you all think? Just from this one life perspective, it appears like it is unfair. Yeah. But in fact, whatever is coming in our way is whatever is due based on our past actions. Suppose somebody, robbed a shop. He robbed a shop last night, and he was wearing some t-shirt and jean pant. Today he changed the dress to like a shorts and some other shirt. Does it mean that he's not going to be arrested because he just changed the dress, right? So the karma will catch up as and when it is due, so that is how karma works. We cannot really get away from the results of our past actions. So that is karma. So understanding this, the unfairness exists, but understanding how this exists, right? How this works actually helps us get out of that, karma itself totally. Right? How actually karma works, if we understand, we have an opportunity to completely get out of it. So karma is the law of cause and effect. Whatever we do, there is a reaction for it. That is the Newton's third law as well. Right? We throw a coin up, it will come down. Yeah. So if we drink liquor, we shall get drunk and suffer. Right? There is going to be suffering. Yeah. Yeah. So you can see some of these questions here. Yeah, we always see differences in the world around us. We feel sometimes sad that somebody is suffering. We feel like that, but unfortunately we can't do much about it. Yeah, so we discover that and understand why do you think differences exist between one student and the other, right? So it's all based on what is given to each individual, right? And application. Did you choose your parents or face cut? Some of these are just given to us. We don't choose who our parent is, how much wealthy we are, right? These are just given to us. Yeah. So understanding karma will give us, okay, it is all reasonable, at least. It's not very unfair. It's all reasonable. Second thing, it will give you a clue on how to get out of this. Right? So those two are the main practical applications we can take away in our life. Right? How to understand the situations of life, first thing. Second is, how do I get rid of the karmic cycle? Two things. Yeah. So in the material consciousness, we have a body means we have a physical body means we have some past karmic reactions. Without karma orju, there is no way we will have a body. We have a physical body means we had desired something in the past and we have performed some karma in the past. That karma gave us enough account balance to expend the desire in a specific body. So the body is given to us. So the body is a clear proof that we are due to either enjoy or suffer our past actions, the resultant results of the past actions. Right? So that is how karma is. How past? It's since you can say eternal because we never know when our karma started. It's not, it's not easy to understand that aspect when it started. But it is in the next life, or it can happen after 10 lives. The way karma operates. If you just throw a rock on, Arjun Prabhu, right? He will remember it. He doesn't immediately throw. He will find his own time when he will return back, right? So karma is also very complex. You may perform an action, but the way the reaction can come, maybe in this life, maybe in the next life, maybe in 100 lives, we never know. So that's why it's a very complex subject. It's not complex subject. I mean, it's very intricate. It's not, we cannot define based on what you get today. Empirically, we can tell, okay, what would have happened in the past. But today's action, we don't know when I will get the reaction for. That is not, because that is all not decided by us. It's all the different agencies that, how. So we only, suppose we have $10,000, right, of karma to expend. Yeah. Is it fair? It is fair. It is done absolutely fairly because the prarabdha karma is already fixed. What you are due for this lifetime, right? Because your chart is already defined. Your birth chart is already defined. So your prarabdha is what you are going to expend in this particular lifetime. Okay. You may destroy it further in this lifetime, but whatever is due for you is already before you are born, that's already written down. Okay. So the things that come in, like for example, you may get promotion this year without you working very hard, because that is all in your prarabdha. And you may work very hard, but you may not get. So that's all in your prarabdha, right? So you never know. The time is Krishna himself. How time acts is very difficult. It's all decided by Paramatma. So it's not unfair. It's something beyond our control, and it is fair at that level. But for us, we may not really understand exactly how, at what time we'll be given what results, right? So yeah, you want to add something? Dhritarashtra, yeah. So Dhritarashtra story, we already discussed this in the past. I didn't. That's why I didn't, share it again. So Dhritarashtra, he had 100 sons, and all the children were killed, right, towards the end. And so he asked Lord Krishna, "Oh Lord, you gave 100 sons, which is a great, great boon, but then you also took away everybody from me. So how is this, fair?" So for him, his own life story is revealed. And his life story is that in his past life, he was a hunter. As a hunter, one time he he saw a bird with about 100 birdlings, baby birds, and he ruthlessly and mercilessly burns all of those birdlings, right? So and then he incurred that sin, and the parent bird watches all of this. He wouldn't be killed at the time. So the suffering of the parent bird is what he was getting reaction for. And then he takes, but because he had to have sons, 100 sons, he had to spend another 100 lifetimes to accumulate enough good karma to have 100 sons, to have 100 sons in one life. So his life is like that. So he had performed an action. The reaction for that has to come after 100 lifetimes, so that he could accrue enough good karma to have 100 sons, and then finally lose all of them. So that's how come. So everybody's karmic cycle is very different, and it's better not to get too much. It's just for our understanding on how it works. It's better to focus on how to exhaust the karma, both good as well as bad. Yeah. So, and we have like 84 lakh species of various bodies one may get based on, one's own karmic, prarabdha karma. So what is good karma? What is bad karma? Good karma are, you know, are pious activities, right? Pious activities are going to give you good results. For example, in this lifetime, you perform some charity. You gave some money to someone. So that will come back to you as multifold in the next life, multiple. Just like when you save deposit in a bank, you get some interest, right? So when you do charity, it is not gone. It will come back to you in multifold in the next life. So you may just donate $100 this life, you may get $1,000,000 in the next life for that simple act. So that's how karma works. You give clothes to somebody, you'll never be short of clothes in the next life. If you do give education to someone, you will get the best education in the next life. So it's like that. If you do some service, you will get the position of servant in spiritual world. So like that. Yeah. So, and bad karma is you perform negative actions, which will give you negative reactions. Breaking any regulated principles is a negative activity, for example, right? So if I have a body that is ugly, deformed, diseased, unintelligent, or born in poverty and ignorance without facility for improvement, I must have created sinful, I must have acted sinfully in the past, because these are sinful reactions. Right? So, for example, if we have one or more of these qualities, we don't become sad or depressed. We don't need to, because what is future is still in our hand. That is in our free will. You know, we can act right today and create the best future for us. So that's the great news, right? Today and tomorrow, I may still suffer based on what is due for me based on my past actions. That is not in your control. You may not be able to control that as much as you wish. But what is due for you in your future, that you can completely, what will come for you is in your hand. So you perform spiritual activities, your future is very well taken care. Hmm. Yes, yes, yeah. Hmm. Yeah. So there is also divine will. There is also free will for us. There is also divine will, and divine will prevails over free will completely. So in that case, Lord already decided to re-establish dharma, right? He already speaks that. So if we become an instrument in the hand of Lord, you get the credit of that activity. So even though, but we don't know. Right now, we don't know whether what we do is according to the will of the Lord or not, right? So that's why we take guidance of, like a good mentor, spiritual mentor. So that way our actions, we try to align with, the desire of the Lord or the will of the Lord. So if suppose you want to perform an action, you can check with, if it is a very significant action, important action. So you want to double check with your, spiritual mentor and, you know, uh, find out if that is in line with, you know, making you progress in spiritual life or not. And accordingly you can act, right? So there is also divine will that will always supersede. Yeah. So even though we think we have free will, ultimately, you know, at a higher level, Krishna knows exactly how we act. Paramatma knows. Yeah. Even though we have so-called free will, that's very limited. You know. For example, if you tie a, so in the villages, if you have seen, there are these oil mills where, you know like an ox would go around and mill the, coconut, or, and make oil out of it, right? So the ox there, it can freely move, but how much can it move? Only around that. The ox thinks, oh, I'm free to move, but as soon as its mouth is tied to a tight rope that binds them to, the center of the pole, as soon as it tries to move, it hurts it so badly and it'll turn back. So our free will is also like that. Even though we may have free will, if we try to misuse any of our senses, we get bad reactions, right? Somebody misuses his tongue and eats too much spicy thing, he will get suffering immediately. So the ox is thinking, oh, I'm free, but all that it can do is rounds only. So the guy who is controlling the ox, he knows exactly what is happening. So Paramatma also knows exactly what direction we are taking. So that's how it is. There is free will, but there is also higher control. So the free will is in a very well-defined scope. Yeah. So here is a story of a mill owner. He had four sons. He is almost dying. All his life he earned money and he just used for sense gratification, drinking and wine and other things. So when he's about to die, all the children came and he said, hey, all of you are here. Who is taking care of the mill? And he died at the time. So his consciousness at the time of death is all about thinking about business and mill. So he was worried about money at the time. So he becomes a rat in that mill. That's how karma works. So unfortunately, whatever is our last thoughts, that will determine that's the snapshot that will become the next, blueprint for our next life. Yeah. Good karma is like credit, bad karma is like debit, right? At the time of death, the plans of soul are stored within the mind, and by the help of higher order natural laws involving karma, the soul gets the facility to give these plans shape in his next life in a suitable bodily form. So the desires of the soul, as long as we have desires, material desires to enjoy this or that, go there, here, live here or there. So those desires are like plans, right? And then you have karmic balance, and you would be given, based on, the whatever you have enough credits. For example, you have to pay a certain amount to rent a home, right? Based on the amount you pay, you get the facility also, right? The facility is determined by the amount you can pay. So similarly, you based on your pious credits, you get the chance to either fulfill your desire in this life or maybe in the future life. So that is how it works. Now the interesting part. So there is also akarma, actions that will not have any reactions. Simple example is a soldier is there. A soldier goes to Jammu Kashmir and he shoots down people from Pakistan. He kills 50 people. And then, because they're trying to occupy our land. And so on behalf of country, he acted and killed 50 people. Will he be arrested for killing 50 people? No, actually what he gets Paramveer Chakra. He's going to be awarded because he eliminated the enemies. Why? Because he acted on behalf of government. Yeah, he is doing it as a duty. He's not doing out of his own will. But the same guy comes home and he shoots down, his neighbor because the neighbor was mad at him for whatever reason, right? Then for a single, even if he kills his dog, he'll be arrested right away. There is no, looking back. Why? Because he violated the law. That's not civilized behavior. So one gets reactions based on one's actions. But when one acts, so the action itself doesn't determine whether you get good karma or bad karma. So the intent behind the action and the purpose behind the action actually determines that. So bhakti is what? Then what? Now understand what is bhakti. Actions that give pleasure to the Lord. Right? So bhakti is an expression of love for Lord. So whether you chant the holy name or do worship or study Vedic literature or scriptures, so these are actions to learn about the nature, learn about God, to develop love for God, understanding the supreme proprietorship of God, right? So all of these aspects, that is basically understanding how the totality of existence works, right? And how you can align and harmonize your own life according to those principles. So such activities, will they incur any karma? No, they won't incur any karma. In fact, because your mind is so much focused on those activities, you're desiring on how to go for class or planning on how to improve your chanting, for example. Your mind is now filled with spiritual desires or spiritual plans on how to improve your spiritual path, right? So the time that you are spending to, in the past, you might be planning for, okay, go to movie theater or, go for this restaurant or bar or, meet these friends or how to curse this guy or whatever, right? So we have so many other negative or positive so-called enjoyment plans, but now those are replaced by the spiritual plans and desires, whatever, right? So naturally, your karmic debt is going down. Why? Because you are trying to harmonize your life with God at the center. So in this way, and naturally, whatever you were planning or desiring to enjoy in this life is being replaced by this. And so your whatever is due in terms of karma for you, will it ever happen? It won't even happen. Because suppose in the normal life, suppose you were never coming to these classes, you would be planning something else. So that karma is not anymore upon you. You see? So that's how the spiritual life completely has the potential to eradicate all your past karma from your, bank account, your spiritual account. So that's how karma works. Sorry, akarma works. So akarma not only gives you the eligibility to go back to God, it also eliminates your pious as well as impious reactions of the past, because you're not acting, in that mindset anymore, like you were before you're taken to spiritual path. So that's how we get rid of all the past, reactions for the past actions. Any questions? It will be so. For example, if you especially when you take shelter of a guru, for example, right? So your karma is generally withheld until you act, breaking the principles. As soon as you break, all those karma again will be back upon you. Yeah. Even when you chant every day, the karma is generally withheld. Suppose you are due for an accident today. Okay. Generally, your karma is withheld, and a token reaction is given sometimes. A token reaction means, suppose you have to, cut your hand. That will come as a small cut in the finger. You will, while cutting vegetable, you will cut your finger, right? So, but what was actually due for you to get is real, big cut or a hand break. But Krishna, or Paramatma within our heart, based on our actions and change of mind, he would give a token reaction instead of giving full reaction. So that's why for devotees, the karmic charts don't work exactly like what would have happened without them acting spiritually, right? Once you start spiritual life, your astrology chart is not the same. Astrologers cannot really predict your uh, they cannot predict the negative reactions to your life anymore. Yeah, because lot of that is subdued for you. Yeah. But that means that you also have to be really sincere. You have to really take spiritual life seriously, chant every day. Then your life will be different. You are in the hands of Lord. So both good as well as bad karma will be eliminated by uh, akarma. Yeah. So Bhakti Yoga, directed towards the Supreme Lord, as performed by Arjuna, Hanuman, Pandavas, produces divine credits called akarma, which takes one back to Godhead when it is fully ripe. When we fully mature in bhakti, then we become eligible to go back to Krishna directly in spiritual world. Is good karma same as akarma? Is pious activity same? What is the difference? Good karma will have good reaction. So does it mean we should not give charity now? Charity is pious activity, we said. Now, how do we fit charity into akarma? How do we make charity into akarma? When you think it is yours, then in the next life you will be given a lot more, which is yours. Because you said it is mine, you will get more of what is yours. But when you consider, the one that you are giving in charity is not yours, it is, you are only a trustee for what you have. Then what you give is not yours. Then there is no pious reaction to it. So that's a very good point. Yeah. So here is a question. How is good karma different from akarma? Good karma is material and akarma is spiritual. Is that correct? You understand what is akarma? Reaction. Yeah. And it has the potency to eliminate the reactions of both pious as well as impious actors. Yeah, that karma and vikarma. Good karma fruits get exhausted in future, but akarma fruits are eternal and imperishable. Is that right? Akarma fruits are imperishable or not? Eternal, yes. Because any service you perform to the Supreme Lord, right? That those credits will be there for you, with you forever. Yeah. So there is no way to exhaust it. Good karma and akarma both are good and either of them can be performed. No. For reaping good karma fruits, we have to reincarnate, but akarma will take us back to Godhead. Correct? Yeah. Yeah. So punya, karma, and spiritual activity are not the same. Yeah. So now punya karma is explained in this section. So if you perform punya karma, all that you get is what? We're not going to, reading that. Huh? Better facility to enjoy, but within the material world. Yeah, that's the challenge with that. So it's like in the material world, every facility is like a being in a jail only, right? So today you may be in a C-class jail, and by performing good actions, you get credits to go into A-class cell. That's it. So from C-class to, you will get some more facilities, you will have an independent room, but it's still in jail. Yeah. So here are some examples given. If someone distributes free water in the next life, he'll get home next to a river, it seems. So all those near Samamish River are they have distributed free water in the past life. Yeah. Or he will live in a facility with 24 hours. So that it's all like that. Karma works like that. If you give notebooks, you may get printing press, for example. Yeah. So if you give cloths, you may become a mill owner. So this is how it works. So we can infer it based on who has what. You can tell what he has done in the past. Somebody is rich, he must have done charity in the past. Without that, he won't get. So Bill Gates and so-called people who are rich, and now they also want to do charity. You see, they want to still further. So they may in the next life, they may go to higher planetary systems like Swargaloka, where they can enjoy for 10,000 years. So they're actually increasing their punya karma further. So all these billionaires, they want to give money in charity. Yeah. So if someone performs Vedic sacrifices, so by the way, because they are not performing Vedic sacrifices, I don't think they'll go to higher, heavenly planets. They'll be here only still, even though they may have better facilities. So if someone performs Vedic sacrifice with the desire to get elevation to heaven, he may get such promotion. But once So this is another problem with that. Once such count of piety is over, they will be back in the Earth planetary system. This is called Karma Bhumi. The Earth planetary system, it's called Bhuloka. This is Karma Bhumi. This is where people accumulate good and bad karmas. It's like a work area. You earn money. When you have enough money, you can go to 5-star restaurant and do what? Eat few days, enjoy nicely, swim there and everything. And then after you spend all the money, what do you have to do? Huh? Come back. Exactly. So that is so people accumulate good karma. If they perform Vedic sacrifices, they go to higher planets. If they perform sinful activities and bad actions, they'll go back to lower planets. Yeah. So heaven and hell are within the scope of material world called Brahmanda, whereas spiritual world is beyond crores of material universes. Yeah. Only those who perform hmm? Hmm. Only devotion service. Yeah. Punya karmas in the mindset of a devotee you can do. For example, if you do charity, that's what we are discussing. If you do charity, but consider that you are the giver and you want your name written in the, then you are basically getting recognition and there is identity there, right? But when you perform the same charity without considering any, considering that actually all that I have is only given by God, and I'm only on behalf of him, I'm actually doing the donation, right? So then there is no reaction for it. It becomes a karma. Yeah. So that is how it works. You can perform all, punya karmas, but with the understanding that the Supreme Lord is Krishna and he is the proprietor, owner, controller of everything, and everything you do only on behalf of him, and everything that you give is also of him. So with that understanding, if you do, then there is no, it becomes a sacrifice. Charity becomes a sacrifice when you do with the right mindset. Yeah. So here are some impious activities mentioned here that give negative reactions, right? And another interesting fact is the good karmas you perform and bad, karmas you perform, they don't cancel each other, right? If you perform, for example, even in the material world, you did a good action. So I was telling the example of soldier. He fought on the border and killed enemies, right? He get Paramveer Chakra. And same guy comes home and tries to kill another person, he will be put in jail. These two are two different. Oh, because he got Paramveer Chakra, he will not be reduced in terms of reaction for what he did at his home. So you have to enjoy the reactions of good karma, suffer for the reactions of the bad karma. So both have to be, there are two accounts. Yeah. So this we already discussed. Yeah. And who is administering all of this karma? Who is the witness? Paramatma within the heart. Yeah. Upadrishta is called Upadrishta. This is a verse. Upadrishta Hanumantacha Bharta Bhokta Maheshwara. So Lord Krishna is the administrator for all of our karma. Right? So in every living body, there is a soul and a super soul, like two birds in a tree. So there are two spiritual entities within our heart. One is our own self, true self, the jiva, who is actually identifying with this body, mind, and trying to enjoy in this world. The other is the super soul, who is the witness for the actions of this jiva, and he's just waiting for him to turn to him. One bird eats sweet bitter fruits and is happy unhappy, and super soul is the silent witness, right? Because you are not performing devotion service, he just watches like that silently, keep quiet. He'll not interfere in your actions. Suppose you want to do negative actions, he will not stop you, because he's like a judge, super soul. Even if sometimes the children don't even listen to their own father, correct? They want to do something, they will do it anyway, correct? So like that, jiva is like that. Unless he is fully surrendered to the super soul, he will not direct him to a guru, he will not give him the spiritual path. But when he turns to God, when he turns to Paramatma, tries to understand the purpose of life, then Paramatma is the person who would manifest as an external guru. If you have a guru, it means you already tried to connect with the super soul. Try to establish your connection with the super soul. But as long as the jiva, I want to do, I am here to enjoy. If that is a mindset, Paramatma is just a judge. Even though he sees you do negative activity, he does not stop. He cannot, because he doesn't want to interfere with the free will of the jiva. Based on his past karmic reactions, he would go through his, cycle of action reactions. Yeah. He just keeps track of all the accounts, what you are due in the upcoming life. So he arranges for the particular body and circumstances we get in life. Karmana Daivanetrena. So everything that happens is under the purview of the Daivanetra. Paramatma is the principle of Daivanetra. Yeah. So why do bad things happen in our life? Though we try to do good now. Yeah, we may be doing good now, but that doesn't mean we get good reactions, right? We should not feel disappointed. You worked very hard, but you didn't get a job. We should not feel disappointed, because what we are getting is prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma is not because of what we are doing right now. It was based on what we did in the past. So we should be patient when we are there's going to be patches of lifetime when your life will not be easy. All of us will go through it, and all of that is also can be known through astrology. Actually, if you you know if you consult an astrologer, he can tell you what is the rough patch of time when you have to be very careful and be patient. So that's like an astrology, like a torchlight. Astrology does, planets don't determine, but planets are a correlation factor to your own karma cycle. So yeah, so we generally give this example of the granary example, right? So a village people, they all, or for example, you're a farmer, you have a granary where you store rice every year based on the crop you raise, right? So in certain years, you may have very good quality, high quality grains, okay? And then you put that in the granary from the top. And for your own consumption, you take some grains from the bottom, right? So this year, for example, you have worked very hard, used the best pesticides, best fertilizers, you got the best crop, high quality rice. You poured from the top. But you try to cook and you try to take it from the bottom, you got the rice that was stored like 5 years back. And what is the quality of that rice? It's bad, because 5 years back, you have very bad crop, right? Today, you may work very hard and pour the best, but what you are getting out is based on what you did in the past. So we should stay patient. We should not feel disappointed. I worked very hard. Why I didn't get promotion? Because your prarabdha is stopping you right now. So don't worry too much about it. Just accept it, because you are pouring good, you're putting in good effort. Eventually, if you keep every year good quality of, account balance, right? All that you get out is going to be good balance, right? Good things. So we should just stay patient and continue to put sincere efforts. Things will take care in time. Hmm. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. It's just an enhancer. Yeah. So one, direct evidence I had was sometimes, suppose you are traveling from Samamish to Seattle, right? You're driving, right? The speedometer tells it takes about, 30 minutes or say 40 minutes to reach there. At the beginning itself, it tells. Now you try very hard, try to, I tried that, sometimes because I have urgency, I tried to, cut short and, took a lot of risk actually. But then I came only 2 minutes early. It's almost the same. So however work you have, you know, hard you work, because the path is determined, the places of congestion, all of that is already lined up even before I start. So even though I tried very hard, I landed up only 1 or 2 minutes away from, so whatever you're getting is also be like that. So spending too much energy in that, I felt, oh, I should have just gone with what is there. I should not have taken the anxiety of driving so fast. That exactly. So we have to be careful, Sometimes we push very hard because we're not getting what we want, and that would result in negative action, like Mataji said. So we should be careful, we should be patient, right? So we can't escape what we are due. We'll get mostly close to what we are due for. So we should just accept there is a higher order principle and be patient and just go with the life. Don't take too much anxiety. Focus more on spiritual life. So I think that is the biggest lesson I got in that. You know, I tried a few times. Every time 2 minutes only. It's not more than that. For an hour or 2 hours journey. Imagine. So yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It is prarabdha karma. Yeah. Prarabdha karma also will be removed by devotion service. Yes. Yeah. Sometimes you may be due for a very big reaction, but because you know you are actually spiritually acting every day, that would be reduced. Yeah. So that's why a devotee, whenever he gets a bad reaction, he considers that I am due for much bad reaction, but by God's grace, I only got very little reaction. If anybody considers like that for all that is happening in his life, then he is eligible to go back to Godhead. That is, there is a verse that states that in Srimad Bhagavatam. You remember the verse? Tattenu kampam susumikshumanam. Yeah. Bunjani eva mak. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, speak out loud. Manam. Yeah. So that verse states that, if a person considers whatever he is getting, I should have gotten worse. It's only by the mercy of Lord I got much far less. Then he becomes a person eligible to go back to Godhead. Yeah. And he states whatever is happening in my life is for my good. Not just, okay, I have to go through it. I will just go through it. No. He actually thinks that this is what I really need. And Krishna is so kind that he has given this suffering so that I learn my lesson and I'll be more careful. Imagine the mindset of such a devotee, right? So he looks for whatever happens, he happily takes that in his life, right? So that is a devotee. Devotee never considers, you know, anything bad happening to in his life negatively at all. He considers that is the best thing, because if you are in love with God, if you are in love with your father, right? Whatever your father gives, will it ever be bad for you? No, he really loves you and gives you what he thinks is best for you, right? Sometimes he might be a little angry, or but his interest is that it be good for you, right? Sometimes he may punish, but with the interest that you will be actually improve and you will be better, right? So a devotee actually has that mindset. Whatever is happening in my life is actually the best thing that should happen in my life.
Almost like listed what we have to get this right. Then that can also make somebody very lazy. That, oh, I will get whatever I'm supposed to get. So why should I do one part of it?
So how, yeah, but you would be exhausting, right? And you cannot stay without performing action. Every day you have to breathe. So there is reaction for everything you do. Even you are killing, you know, microbes when you are breathing. So you will be going through reaction for that as well. So one cannot just stay lazy, because within, this karma bhumi, you cannot feed yourself without performing action. So whatever within the material world, whatever you get has to be deserved by you. And the deservability comes through actions. So without action, you cannot just, uh, give, I mean, with like, can anybody stay without studying and expect something, things will be taken care? It doesn't work like that. So you, within material world, you have to earn whatever you want to, to be able to enjoy in this world. Yeah. So now you were talking about a devotee. Oh, a devotee, for a devotee's case, clear guidance is one has to act in harmony with the laws of nature. It's not that, I just stop action. By acting as a devotee, you want to align, without even to perform devotion service, right? You need to perform devotion service, you need the facilities. So how will you get that? You cannot just, okay, I surrender to Krishna and everything will be provided. It doesn't work like that. Yeah. In fact, there are some people who have such misunderstanding, and they actually suffered a lot. We have seen here in Seattle as well. They stopped acting completely, and they they have family, children, and they thought, Krishna will take care, and they become some kind of, okay, now I'm performing devotion service. I don't need to really, work hard and take care of things. And it went south, and they learned their lesson, and after a few years, they, they learned the lesson hard way. So devotion service is a more responsible action, actually. So there's no chance for one to become lazy. I don't know if it answered. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, there is still, yeah, there are 5 factors: the place, yeah, and one's own endeavors. Yeah, and then ultimately it is the divine will, right? The Paramatma. So, yeah, divine sanctions, but you still need to perform action, yeah, to really reap the benefit of the what is due for you. Yeah, yeah. So thus the principles of reincarnation allow us to view life with a much broader perspective from the standpoint of eternity. Okay? So from this point of view, one Brief lifetime is seen not as the entirety of our existence, but just as a flash in eternity. This one lifetime is just a flash, you know. With this broader vision of universal justice, we can see how each individual soul is alone responsible for his own karma. Everybody is responsible for his own karma in the scale of eternity. Yeah. So the laws of reincarnation operate impartially to award each living entity the destiny he has earned by his previous actions. So bad things don't happen to good people. Bad things happen to the people who deserve it. Let's put it that way. Yeah. And bad and good is again a mindset thing, right? A devotee doesn't consider anything bad, a pure devotee. You know, what because he accepts it as mercy of Lord. For example, Mirabai, I heard a story. She had a boil on the leg, and the pain is excruciating. But she would consider, that also as mercy of Lord. So that's how a pure devotee considers. So this we already discussed. Can good karma cancel bad karma? No. So you are due to enjoy both and enjoy good karma and suffer bad karma. So there is an example, the story, Puranic story of King Nriga. So he is a pious king. So he was performing charity as a king. So one time there were two brahmanas. He was giving a lot of cows, thousands of cows he was giving. And so one cow went from one brahmana's charity to another brahmana. So the brahmana who lost the cow, he comes to King Riga and he asks, I want my cow. And the other brahmana who got the cow, he says, you already gave and I can't give back. You already gave me in charity, so I can't give back. So the two brahmanas get into an argument and they both curse King Niga for, it is only one of, say, 100 cows that each of them got. But just for that one cow, they cursed and he becomes a lizard in his next life. See, imagine. But because he performed charity, he also is due for good karma, good reactions. So at the destiny, he was asked, hey, do you want to enjoy your good karma or go through your bad karma first? King Riga says, I want to go through and finish my bad karma first. So he will get the lizard body. And he will become a lizard in a well. And it is Lord Krishna's time. And one of the sons of Lord Krishna, he would go to the well and he sees this lizard. And Lord Krishna extends his hand and pulls the lizard out. And he gets his, body back. And he becomes a heavenly divinity. So it's a story to illustrate how good and bad don't cancel. The guy is performing very good charity, but because he performed one negative activity, he got a lizard body. Yeah, important lesson from King Niga's episode. Yeah, so King Niga considered piety as giving cows in charity to be a separate goal. Thus, he did not fully appreciate pure devotion service to Lord Krishna. He never performed devotion service. Krishna had not been the only goal of, it's not the only goal of Niga's life, as he was for Ambarish Maharaj. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada confirms, on the whole, Niga had not developed Krishna consciousness. The Krishna consciousness person develops love of God, Krishna, not love for pious or impious activities. Therefore, he is not subjected to the results of such action. Yeah. As stated in Brahma Samhita, a devotee by the grace of Lord is not subject to the reactions of fruitive activities. See? When Riga mentioned to Lord Krishna, I hankered to have your audience, he was referring to an incident concerning a certain great devotee King Riga had once met. Yeah. because King Nriga had a desire to see the Lord, he got the audience of Lord Krishna. So this is a matching exercise. I think we are already 1 o'clock. You can have a look at it. I'll share this one. Yeah, so here is the reasoning that Ravi Prabhu was asking. Logic for believing that reactions to our karma may come in future lives. Sometimes reactions are not in this life. Sometimes they come after a day, after a year, after a lifetime. So how do we understand that, right? So karmic reactions do certainly come in same life. The karmic reactions do certainly come in the same life. Yeah, but that there are some that do not. So here is why we say the karmic reaction may even come in future lives. Yeah. So there are certain aspects we'll understand here. There are instant and delayed karma. For example, if you slap somebody for no reason, what do you get? You get another slap back. So that's called instant karma. Delayed karma. So if you eat heavy in the night, you may have indigestion in the morning, you may have stomach ache. So that's little bit delayed karma. For example, another thing is a person who murdered may go undetected for some time, but he may be eventually caught. So that's a delayed karma, right? Yeah, if during youth one squanders all wealth, one will be left with nothing in retirement. Yeah, that's another. Yeah. So this was the Dhritarashtra example, right? So we already discussed this. Now the terminology here, prarabdha karma and sanchit karma. Prarabdha karma. So sanchit karma is totality of your karma. Suppose you are due for, actions of million lifetimes. So that is your bag of karma you are due, over the many future lifetimes. That's called sanchit karma. Out of that entirety, a part of it is taken and is given for your current life. So that is called prarabdha karma. Yeah. So that is prarabdha karma. Yeah, but the thing is, if one takes shelter of Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, Lord says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masuchaha. So I will eradicate all your sinful reactions if you surrender to me alone. Yeah. So Krishna can take away all your, negative reactions. So different karmic seeds take different times to fructify. Yeah. So each seed has its own nature that makes it bear fruit at a certain time. Yeah. So just like seasonal fruits, each take their own time to manifest. So there are this terminology here. Even our own actions will have reactions in various phases. Yeah, some karmic seeds naturally take a short time to fructify and some a long time. Therefore, according to their nature, some karmic reactions may come in this life and some in future life. So, kotam means the proclivity or desire. Everything begins like this, right? If you want to own a car or you want to study in a college, first thing that happens is your desire to, for certain thing, right? Either a car or a college, whatever. So that kotam, the proclivity, solidifies to become kotam. Kotam or the seed means a very clear desire seed. Now you want to do it. It's just matter of time when you do it, but you are very clear. You have finalized your car model now. When you are in the kotam stage, you are searching here and there what car I should buy. When in the Biza stage, you finalize your car now. It's just matter of when funds are available, right? So follow mukam means you will now perform it. You will go and pay the dealer money You got the fruit. Yeah. Now you may now you get the car, right? You enjoy the fruit. So that is prarabdha. Prarabdha means what you enjoy as of now. So that's the reaction. So activity and reaction. Inclination, and then the desire in the form of seed, and then you perform action, and then you get the reaction. Right? But once you buy car, you may, oh, this car is not not that good. I want electric car, or you may develop further desire, right? So that becomes, now you become a tree and a fruit. Now it can manifest more desires, more, right? So in that way, your desires keep accumulating more and more every day. So that's why that's an unending cycle. So you can try to satisfy unlimited desires, and you always hanker, you'll never be able to finish that. Or you can direct all your energy to serving the Supreme Lord, and He would satisfy your heart, actually. He would satisfy your heart more in a much far better way than when you are trying to fulfill the desires. That's the alternative. So we don't try to become the desirer of desires, right? Because as you fulfill, there will be more desires that keep coming. So here is a Padma Purana verse about the various stages of the karmic cycle. Yeah. And then there are various types of karma that are defined in Vedic scriptures. Nitya karma is prescribed daily duties everybody should perform. Hare Krishna chanting, reading, spiritual activities, these are all Nitya karma. Even some people perform sacrifices, fire sacrifice every day. That would, because and even pitru karma we perform. So today, whatever body we have is all because of our ancestors, right? Through them we got this body today. So we are due to pay them back. So that's called pitru karma. A lot of people do actually pitru karma. It's called water ritual. And there are also fire ritual, worshipping the sun in the morning, because we live every day and it's not possible without the sunlight, sun and moon and other facilities. So we are due to worship every single day. These two, huh? Oh really? Oh, Pitru Tarpan day. Pitru Tarpan, yeah. Okay, it's interesting. We can do that today. Yeah. Yeah, some people say, if you are fully spiritually acting, you don't need to perform those separate activities, because whatever you are performing would help the Pitrus and other living entities. Even if you do it, there is no wrong. You are doing with the right understanding. So we should perform Nitya karmas, and Naimitya karma are occasional activities like helping in a festival, things like that. And Vihita karma is daily, regular duties, like as a student you have to study, as a husband you have to take care of family. So those are called Vihita karma. Kamya karma is, you may have certain desires, right? Fulfilling those desires is called Kamya karma, right? Like you want to, in terms of spiritual desires, you may want to learn to play nice music for Lord, right? Like that. Nishiddha karma is prohibited activities, breaking the 4 regulative principles. So these are the types of, so in this, what all things we should avoid? Nitya karma we should do or not? We should do it, okay? Naimitya karma, we should do it. Vihita karma, we should do it. Yeah. Kamya karma, you can do spiritually. not material desires, but yeah. Nishiddha karma, we should avoid. Yeah. So that is the one thing that accumulates negative reactions. Yeah. Yeah. Forgetfulness of cause is, let's read this one. Yeah. In this way, yeah. So one should avoid Nishiddha karma. In this way, we all can know how to act and not act while living in this world in order to not unnecessarily accrue bad karma. Yeah. So this is called conscious living. Before becoming Krishna conscious, we should become conscious. So that means we have to see what our actions are on a daily basis, right? And see how we can align and make it in harmony with the principles or the universal laws of God, dharmic principles. Yeah. So before coming to Krishna consciousness, we don't have that judgment or clarity on what is the right action to perform, what is not right. Now that clarity is coming slowly. So we should use our discrimination to act in our life with that understanding. So forgetfulness of cause is no excuse, right? Yeah, like you may say, I forgot the traffic rules and you violate, you get punished now, and there is no excuse for it. So forgetfulness is never an excuse for not getting the reaction. I think this is a simple exercise. Sorry. So the another concept to understand is collective karma, right? Sometimes we see natural calamities, earthquakes, where sometimes 10,000 people die in one shot. So how do you understand that? So this is the concept of collective karma. There are, at a certain time, there are a number of people who are due for certain karma. And all of them are put together and a particular reaction comes to all of them together. And like a tsunami or earthquake, and that kills all of them in one shot. Yeah. So tsunami flood claimed 3.8 lakh lives. Yeah. Yeah. It's also collective karma, partially. Yeah. 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 It's all man-made. All the, Prarabdha karma is all man-made for that matter. Yeah. So the guy who is driving this, massive killing, they will go through like millions of lifetimes of like this Putin and all. If they're doing this out of their own ego, they will have to suffer for many, many lifetimes. Especially as a leader, the reactions of people are upon them. Unless you are a pious king who is, like Ambarish Maharaj, they get heavy reactions for their, for what they do. Yeah. So, and such sins as abortion of children and slaughter of cows, for example, must eventually result in severe collective bad karma for those involved in such horrible acts. So these people, the earthquakes, there is a pain wave theory, Einstein pain wave theory. Have you heard about it? So Einstein observed that the pain emitted by animals causes natural calamities. Yeah. So we also observe that a lot of countries with where there are heavy mass scale slaughterhouses, they go through, like Japan, they go through a lot of earthquakes and tsunamis, natural calamity. Nature will not support them because nature, you are basically going against nature by killing mass scale animals. So it's a nature's reactions. It's called Einstein pain wave theory. You can read up on that. And there were scientific observations to prove that. Yeah. So these are some observations. Yeah, now the main point is how to become free from karma and reincarnation. Just act like a cashier in the bank. Cashier never thinks it is my money. It is all bank's money. So whatever facilities you have, if you act in that spirit, in that mindset, you will not incur any karma. Simply, whatever you have, use that as Krishna's facility. Your house, your room, whatever you have, you act like you're just an occupant there. It is Krishna's home. Like that, you should consider and act like a servant of Krishna in the home. Then you can have any number of facilities without incurring any karma. Right? So act on behalf of Krishna, the head of the universal government. Be like a lotus leaf. By chanting Hare Krishna every day, studying Srimad Bhagavatam, eating only Krishna Prasad, and engaging in devotion service, one can rise above all problems of world. Yeah. So one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water. It's Bhagavad Gita 5:10. So we all can do it. It's not very hard, right? Chanting Hare Krishna, we should be able to do every day. Reading literature given by Krishna, or or about Krishna, and eating Krishna Prasad, possibly cook Prasad and offer food and offer to Krishna. So in this way, your life will be sinless and all your past karma will be eradicated. And after this lifetime, you can go back to Krishna himself directly, your eternal father. So what more can we ask for, right? So just by following this, we can achieve the highest. Yeah. So one can offer the fruit of one's work to God. This work, known as devotion service, is karma free. Working in Krishna consciousness means sacrifice. So this human being must sacrifice his time, money for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Work performed as devotion service not only saves one from karmic reactions, but gradually elevates one to transcendental loving service of Lord, the key to entering the kingdom of God. At the same time, it's not just a mechanical activity, the devotional activities you perform. You should develop love for God. And that you will do when you study scriptures, understand about God, right? And hear about God from other devotees. How God is so kind and merciful and He provides so many facilities for us. Then you develop love for God. So at the end of life, you should have so much love for Krishna. Now you have love for your parents, your children, if you have children. How much love you have for your children? Imagine. Now, when you develop love for Lord, it will be far more joyous because He is full of everything, right? So try to develop that love for Lord. So that is the goal of life. Premapu Matyamaha. So that is the ultimate goal of our life. So bhakti is such a sweet path. You can sing nice bhajans, hear nice katha, chant and dance, eat prasadam, nice prasadam, taste nice also, right? Everything is joyful activity. And ultimately, the next life is glorious, right? Go back to Krishna. There is nothing better. You enjoy this life and you also enjoy the next life. So we are on the best path. Any other questions? Okay. Thank you all very much. Yeah, we can chant. Let's chant one round. Then the call.